Claire Morgan sat alone in a corner booth of a cozy little cafe, her fingers wrapped around a cup of coffee that had long gone cold. Golden sunlight streamed through tall windows, catching the soft swirl of dust in the air and bathing everything in a warm, nostalgic glow. Outside, autumn leaves drifted lazily past the glass. It was the kind of day that should have lifted her mood, but Claire felt the familiar weight of dread. Another blind date. The fifth one this year. Her well-meaning sister, Emily, had arranged it again, insisting that Claire just needed to meet the right man. Claire had only agreed to quiet the constant concern in her family's voices, the sympathetic glances during holidays when she arrived alone. At 32, Claire had built a good, full life. She taught literature at the community college, had published 2 small but beautiful poetry collections, volunteered at the animal shelter, and surrounded herself with true friends. She was proud of what she'd created, but in her family's eyes and, in a world obsessed with appearances, she was still missing the one thing that completed a woman, a man, and worse. They all seemed to believe they knew why she was single. Claire was a plus-size woman, curvy, soft, real. She'd made peace with her body years ago after endless diets and She was healthy and confident now, but no matter how far she'd come, the comments never stopped the unsolicited advice, the pitying looks, the way men's eyes passed right over her, as if she didn't exist. Claire, a voice interrupted her thoughts. She looked up and froze. The man standing beside her table looked like he'd stepped out of a magazine. Tall, striking, dressed in a perfectly tailored charcoal suit. His dark hair caught the light, and his eyes blue-green, clear, and kind met hers with a warm uncertainty. "I'm Ryan," he said, offering a hand. "Ryan Fitzgerald, Emily set this up." Claire blinked, trying not to show her surprise. This was her blind date. Men who looked like him didn't usually get set up, and they certainly didn't end up with women like her. "Nice to meet you," she said, forcing a polite smile. "Please, have a seat." Ryan sat, and for a moment, neither spoke. Claire studied him as quiet confidence. The watch that probably cost more than her car. The way the barista nearly dropped a cup when he smiled. "So," Ryan said finally, "I'll admit, I was nervous about this. Haven't been on a blind date in years." "Then why agree?" Claire asked, unable to hide her curiosity. Ryan laughed, an easy, genuine sound that softened his features. "Your sister didn't give me much of a choice. She works at my company, Fitzgerald Industries. Cornered me in the break room, actually. Started showing me pictures of you, telling me about your poetry. She's persuasive." Claire felt her cheeks flush. "I'm so sorry. Emily means well, but she can be a bit much." "Really, you don't have to feel obligated." "Obligated?" Ryan frowned. "Is that what you think this is?" "Isn't it?" She replied quietly. "You don't have to pretend. Look at you. Look at me. I know how this usually goes." For a long moment, Ryan just looked at her, really looked at her. Then he said gently, "You've already decided how this will end, haven't you? You've written the whole story before it's even begun." Claire bristled. "I'm just being realistic." "Or maybe," Ryan said softly, "you've just been hurt too many times to believe something good could be real." His words stopped her cold. "I didn't agree to this date out of pity," he continued. "Emily showed me your poetry. I started reading and couldn't stop. Your words are raw, honest, beautiful. You see the world differently, Claire. I wanted to meet the person behind those words." Claire stared at him, unsure how to respond. "That's a nice thing to say." "It's the truth," Ryan said. "I've dated women who looked perfect, who fit the ideal. But most of those relationships were empty. I'm not looking for a picture-perfect life. I'm looking for something real." Claire's defenses wavered. "You say that now, but I've heard all the lines before." Ryan leaned forward, eyes steady. "Then let me show you I mean it. Let me prove you wrong." That was the beginning. Over time, their coffee dates turned into long walks, then dinners, then laughter that echoed late into the night. Ryan showed up for her poetry readings, proud and present. Claire met his colleagues and the whispers started. Some couldn't believe he was with her, but Ryan never flinched. When his mother once asked, "Is she really the kind of woman you want at company events?" Ryan didn't hesitate. "She's exactly the kind of woman I want everywhere," he said. And when Claire's aunt warned her, "Men like him don't marry women like you," Claire smiled and said, "Maybe not, but Ryan isn't men like him, and I'm not women like me. We're just us." A year later, Ryan brought her back to the same cafe where they'd first met. He handed her a leather-bound journal, filled with his own writing, thoughts and moments he'd recorded since their first date. On the final page, he'd written, "Will you continue this story with me forever?" Tears filled Claire's eyes as she whispered, "Yes, 1,000 times, yes." Their wedding wasn't about appearances. It was a celebration of authenticity, of love that looked deeper. And as Claire stood there, radiant in a dress that celebrated her shape instead of hiding it, she finally understood she had always been enough. Years later, she released a third poetry collection titled Proving Them Wrong. The dedication read, "To Ryan, who saw me when I couldn't see myself, and to everyone still learning they are enough just as they are. Because sometimes, proving people wrong isn't about changing yourself. It's about finally believing that you were never the problem. And sometimes, love finds you the moment you stop apologizing for who you are. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that true love sees beyond appearances, please like, share, and subscribe to Pure Hub Kindness, where we share stories that celebrate real connection, courage, and the beauty of being unapologetically yourself.